So this is the Happy Boots on the Ground challenge, and this is my outfit. This is my hat. And then I have a nice little belt here. So I'm very excited to talk about today's topic because this really hits home for me. Okay, so I have some peanut butter cookies here. And welcome to the H.A.P.I. Happy Boots on the Ground Halloween collab created by Tangi Tabor from WTF Tabors. I remember her and her husband, Randall, and I would watch, and they had the most hilarious live streams together. They had amazing chemistry, comedy. They would DJ, and now she has an event center. Before then, she had spices and seasonings and also some ciders that she would sell online at Tangi's Blends. I'm hoping to see Tangi's Blends again soon because I really would like to try some of her seasonings and her ciders. But today, we are collaborating to speak about our worst fears and how we conquered and faced them. So, my worst fear was performing on stage. And so by middle school, why is this a big deal for me? So probably to my former classmates, I am unrecognizable personality-wise. By 8th grade, I hated public speaking. I could not stand it. Everybody has something. For me, it was a combination of things. One of them was my voice. And I would have never thought at an early age, though I wish I had thought to add some harmony to it and just tap in. But middle school, kids would pick on me about my voice, and I became very self-conscious. And by 8th grade, I totally hated public speaking, down to the extent that it was a phobia. It really was a phobia. And 9th grade forward, I hated it. But definitely 8th grade, I hated public speaking. So it's like now, it's totally different. But in 2019, I would get the opportunity. My husband had mentioned something, and before then, I just felt like I was getting signs, signs from God, spiritual signs to use my voice. And I was like, use my voice? Like, that's the last thing I want to do, seriously. So it was like, use your voice. And then I was seeing along with it signs tied to music and to sing. And so before, a couple years before at my previous churches, I remember once someone heard me speak and they said, do you sing? Your speaking voice sounds like you sing. And I was like, no, and I would give sermons about, use your gifts, use your skills, your talents, your abilities. I was like, whatever. So I just wasn't ready. But in 2019, Randall mentioned something to one of the creative team directors at the church we were attending at the time, and just mentioned it in a passing that I sing. And I was like, really? By then I was kind of like, I was unnerved because it was the last thing I wanted to do. At that moment, I felt, okay, almost lost you guys. So I felt like at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, like he's, okay. So honestly, I didn't plan past the audition. I didn't think I was going to make it. So I was singing in the garage, and back in our old little house back then that we were in, we had a garage, and it had the best acoustics, had the best sound, so I just belted out in the garage. And you could kind of see I was a little nervous during my audition. It's on the channel here somewhere. I didn't think I was going to make it, but I did get an email back that I made it and I was welcome to be on the worship team. So Fast forward to the first night that we kind of had to get together and have our very first rehearsal. And so I have been practicing and practicing in the garage. And even though I kind of like, and I guess I knocked it out of the park with rehearsing in the garage solo, fear just kicked in when I got there. I was not, I was thinking, which I did find a comfort level there, that I was just going to be like BGB. So fear kicked in. It was all new to me, but I had to face it. It was like, you know, the lights, the band playing all loud in the background, everybody else there. It wasn't a full packed house, but we had people in the audience, and it was a lot. It was my first time using in-ear monitors. I couldn't hear myself. Like, the fear really kicked in, and it was like, I didn't have a choice. I was already up on the stage, and even though I had practiced the song endless times, I felt like I bombed. But they were giving us grace. It wasn't like something, you know, hey, you're out. You know, it wasn't like one of them things. They knew people were going to be like a deer in headlights, which I was. So I was like a deer in headlights up there. I couldn't hear myself. That just drove me crazy, because with the in-ear monitors and all I could hear was like trash cans banging. That's what the drums sounded like. The guitars twanging. And then it was like, I could hear other people singing more so than I could hear myself. And they're like, can you hear yourself? Can you hear it? I'm like, no. You know, so it was an adventure. I felt like I didn't think that they would try to put me on lead, and they did. They threw me in there like, you're gonna try to do lead. But I did find some comfort in BGB, and I knocked the fear out of the park as far as like being up on stage with a big group of people. I still have not conquered the whole smaller group thing, because we all know what happened after 2019. But I was in the Christmas show and up there with the group, and I was fine. I'm singing BGB instead of like lead. I mean, some people feel like people crave the solo. Honestly, we don't always crave the solo. Some of us are very content being BGB, but they did continue to assign me to the other, like to the youth rooms, where we would do it would just be me and one other person, which was a small acoustic set, and even that drove me nuts. But I had to face it, and I appreciate them, because for the time being that I was in it, they always just continued to put me up there and put me up there and put me up there to kind of get me ready. They were trying to get me ready for, you know, the main, probably the main auditorium. They even had put me on an acoustic set with the teens, and I remember them kind of like to turn the mic off so that it was not like as so it wasn't as like, and it wouldn't kind of like cause me a lot of anxiety, I guess, and so that they could hear me. But I do appreciate them, because one of the directors, he sat like right next to me. But I do appreciate them because they continue to put me on sets, for service, acoustic sets, even if it was just for the youth, so that I could just get used to it. Ultimately, I did not get used to being lead and in a smaller, but I did kind of tap in, because I realized like it was, I did kind of tap in because I realized that as long as I was having a good time up on stage, like the fear would go away, because you just have to treat it like, you know, you're having a party up there and you're just in your own vibe, and there's other people, like you gotta feed off the energy of the people that are feeling it. And if you're you know, the crowd is going to kind of pick up off of your energy. So if you're feeling good, then they're going to be feeling good. If you're having a good time up there and enjoying yourself, then it's going to follow the same with them. So that's how I faced it. I just had to keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. I'm not quite there with solos and smaller groups yet, but maybe one day God gives me the opportunity again, and the right environment, and I can really tap in. But yeah, that's how I faced it. I got thrown in there, guys. Sometimes life is like that. You just get thrown in there and you gotta go, you gotta rock it out. So that's my story, and I hope it leads someone else to believe that they can, you know, they can do it too. Like, sometimes you just got to jump in there, face it head on, and one day I think I will be put out there to face it head on again. Anyways, thanks again to Tangi Tabor, and I'll be sure to check out the other ladies that are participating in this boots on the ground H.A.P.I collab. Anyways, I hope everybody has a good day. I know some people may not celebrate Halloween, but I just hope everybody has a good, I hope everybody has a good day and a happy Halloween. And thanks again to Tangi, and be sure to check out her channel. All right, peace, trendsetters.